Welcome back to the personality debate show with Kian and Jacob. Uh, just had week 2 of the PFL. We got a lot of interesting topics to talk about. Fortunately, we're not going to have any guests this week. Maybe looking to return with that next week. But as of for this week, no guests, but still got an entertaining show for you guys. We'll just go ahead and hop right into the first topic, which we're just going to talk about week 2. Basically, just whatever stood out to you. I mean, there was. I guess I can read the scores of the games off of.
Sure. You do that, and then I'll let Jacob discuss his game.
The
All right,
Dolphins
awesome.
beat Nakatak 88-49, and then the Trojans won a thriller in overtime 56-49.
Against the Hogs.
Yeah, against the Hogs.
All right, Jacob, you want to discuss the Dolphins Nakatak game real quick?
Absolutely. So, the first thing I just would like to say is everybody did their best this weekend. So give yourself a round of applause. I'm sure later we're going to go into how there's going to be 6 players once the Mason gets back, which will either be not this weekend, next weekend, or the first weekend in April that we're back after a 3-week recess. But I just wanted now to get into the game. I thought Dolphins did good, and I think the game of the week this week is Hogs versus Dolphins. I gotta say that right now.
Wait, Nakatak versus Dolphins or Hogs versus Trojans? Which one?
Hogs versus Dolphins.
He's talking about for week 3, like next.
Oh, week 3. Sorry, I was like Jacob. The Hogs did not play the Dolphins in week 2. I got you now, though.
Anyways, and the reason I say it's going to be the game of the week is really because, Nakatak, who has some good players, they just need a better strategy, and they'll be better once we get the 6-player lineup, which I think will be in a few weeks, of course. Something got in my eye. I apologize. Some fly. Anyways, getting back to the point now, I apologize. I really think we played good. We also get Aiden back this week. I remember when Aiden said he had his interview, everybody was saying in the group chat, "Oh, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. They're going 0-2 now." Exact opposite happened. So I am telling you, the Dolphins, and we also lost Isaac for the rest of the year, unfortunately. And we didn't have Meebert. But we were still able to pull it off, and we didn't just pull it off barely. We beat them badly. There was no communication between Nakatak, and I really think that once Nakatak gets a 6th player, they're going to be very competitive. So I'm not laughing at Nakatak. They have great players, and once they get a 6th player, I think teams should be scared of them. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be scared of them now, but once they have a better strategy, they talk with their teammates and everything, they're going to be good. The other thing about the Trojans is you guys have a lot of sleepovers and things, a lot of team meetings. You guys do a lot of things in the chat. We, on the other hand, and other teams don't always do that. And that is why I think you guys, and again, you guys have a lot of talent too, but you guys have actually communicated, and that's also a big part of your success from what I've seen. So congratulations to you guys for beating the Hogs. And now getting into just real quick, the Hogs versus the Dolphins, if I can, Noah.
That's fine.
I say the game really just because we all know what's happening. It's going to be very competitive because I know Ethan, I know Eric, I know Michael, and I know Noah. And I know Jake Swickla. They hate losing. Everybody hates losing. But out of any of the teams in this league, there's 2 teams that do not want to lose whatsoever, and they will bite you down to the wire. Number 1, Trojans, and number 2, Hogs. Hogs thought they would go undefeated this season, so they do not want to see 1-2 on their card. But I can also tell you the Dolphins don't want to see 1-2 on their card because that could shake a Buehrer in a frenzy, as we know. So I am looking forward to the game because it's going to be competitive. I'm also looking forward to potentially having a sideline ref. I don't know if that's a case this week.
It's for sure.
Because you were a great ref, Noah, but of course, you're looking at the ball. That's your job. And to be able to catch the people who might be holding on, like me, unfortunately. But I'm getting better at it. I'm learning the rules better and everything. The sideline ref for both games and from on will be able to catch those plays. I'm looking forward to that as well with both games. And I'm just really looking forward to the matchups. It's going to be a very aggressive game. And the Trojans versus Hogs was very aggressive, but I think this week could even be more aggressive because none of us want to be 1-2.
Okay, so speaking of the greatest transitions of all time, aggressiveness. In the Hogs Trojan game, there was a fight that went down, and it was between me, Michael Dwanger, Eric Stearns, and Ethan Stearns. Kind of Ethan Stearns, not really Ethan Stearns. Ethan was talking about a play that had previously just happened, and I was upset about it. I said some things to him that I shouldn't have said, obviously. And then Eric comes over and shoulder checks me, which doesn't feel good, let me tell you, especially from Eric Stearns. Understandable, by the way. I'm not trying to slander him at all. That's his brother. That's what he should have done. Not in terms of league, but in terms of family. That's what he should have done. And then I slip after. So he shoulder checks me. I fall. I slip again. Michael comes up when I'm standing up the second time. He's in my face, and I stare him down for about 5 or 10 seconds. And then, you know what? I should take this time to do this. We're gonna implement the video system. Let me just, after the play where Michael had gotten on my face and we took a break for a bit, and then I was warned if I did anything again, or if they did anything again, that corresponding player would be sent off. And I kind of want to show this. So the play after this happened.
By the way, great photo of
Thank you.
Team.
So I don't show that just to slander Noah, because Noah is great. He's a great player, and he really wants to win. And I see it in his eyes every single time he comes up against me on the line, either O-line or D-line. Even if it's not possible for him, he will try to win, and he does not give up. That said, if this fight had not taken place, I don't think we would have won. Or not even that. I don't think I would have played well at all, personally. Warming up, I had stayed up late the night before, which I shouldn't have done. But that said, I was super tired and I wasn't really that excited for the game. But after that happened, heart rate gets going, adrenaline gets rushing, and you do something like that. That gets the crowd excited, that'll get you excited, and then you just go off. So, and after that, let's scroll up just a bit. So the Trojans beat the Hogs in overtime after a controversial call, but I think the correct call. And I think a few Hogs players can agree with me on that one too. So after that fight was discussed, and with the effects it had on the team and me personally, I'm going to ask Jacob this. Do you think the Trojans are the best team in the league?
Great question. You know, I'm just going to be completely honest with how close the last 3 games are. Of course, you guys deserve to be number 1 right now. There's no doubting it, all right?
Seeding, yeah. No
doubting it. Each game, though, has been so close.
That's true.
And it's just like the AFC, what are they called? Shoot.
AFC South.
AFC South. It's always the Titans, Texans, and Colts, and it's always like they're 10-6 or something, or 9-6 going into the final week, and we all have the same record or something. We all have the same exact great amount of players out there, and it comes down to like 1 game or something. That's how I feel like it is right now, even though we've only played 2 games between the Trojans, the Dolphins, and the Hogs. Really, we're only what? Are there going to be playoffs?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Out of 7 games in the regular season, though, we're what, like 30% done, if even that. There's so much time to go still. We have 2 more games until our 3-week recess, and then we have 3 games after that. So, and that's not including this weekend as well. So really, getting back to your question, are the Trojans the best team in the league? I would say, standing-wise, yes. If somebody asked me at the school, who's the best team in a PFL, I'd say right now it's the Trojans. You can't dispute that, all right? Facts are facts. Just like on how Stephen A. Smith was going to say, well, the Lakers aren't the best team. Well, if they're number 1 and they have the best record overall, right now they are, all right? But I think a lot can change with 1 game. But what I can tell you is this week is going to be aggressive as shit.
Yep, I agree. I
If
think
you think
that
your game was aggressive, this one's gonna be really aggressive because I can tell you one thing: Michael Dwanger and his brother are aggressive too, but Ethan Stearns and Eric Stearns are not gonna want to lose this game, and they're gonna show so much management this week. I'm telling you, I'm expecting it.
I love the enthusiasm you're bringing to this table. I know this is supposed to be a debate show where we're like Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. We're going at each other's necks, but I really like what you're bringing here, Jacob. It's really hyping me up. So speaking of that, I'm gonna hop on over to where you said the aggressiveness of this game. So some things are going to be changing in this league, and those some things are the rules. Not a lot of them, just a few alternations. So the big one I really want to discuss is, well, there was a few. There was two, maybe more. But the two ones are every team will have a sixth player added just to balance them out a bit. And
Does that start this week?
So I'll just talk about this for a second,
That's
just
fine.
because I'm the commissioner or whatever. I kind of know everything that's going on. But
yeah,
so the Dolphins have their sixth man. It's Ben Hewlett. Unfortunately, though, Mason is still recovering from injury, so they cannot play six man until Mason is fully healed.
okay, so that will prevent the rest of the team or the rest of the league.
Jagger is being added to Nagatak as their six man. So they have their six men. They're ready to go. We're still looking for the six man for both the Hogs and the Trojans. We have candidates in mind. We're talking about they might show up on Sunday. We're going to have them kind of do a mini little tryout thing. We just want to see, what their skill level is. Basically, we're just trying to make this as balanced as possible. And hopefully, if these two candidates are equal in skill level, we'll put one on the Trojans, we'll put one on the Hogs, and and then everybody have their six man. So it could start as early as this Sunday. If besides the Dolphins game, because the Dolphins can only play 5. So that game will have to be 5. But if the Trojans, if we can give them a six man, then Nagatek and Trojans will play 6-on-6.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say it. So
does he go to New Pal High School?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
So there are two things. I know one rule is for every down, the quarterback can only run once per down. Is that correct?
You want me to explain it?
Yeah, just explain the rules so you can give us some. I'll go first, but you can explain.
The other rule that we're implementing is the quarterback can only scramble or run one time per a drive. So every single possession you have the ball, you can only run the ball once. This is due to the fact that, as you guys saw, 60-70% of the plays are QB runs. They would just wait for players to get 20 yards downfield and then take off. It's pretty much an automatic first down every single time. So we're doing that because of that. And then also, if you say everybody's covered, you have nowhere else to go with the ball, you can run forward, but you're only, no matter how much you run, you're only going to get 1 yard after you've already used your one scramble.
Yes.
This is subject to change. Maybe we'll bump it up to 2 runs, or, maybe we'll do something completely different. But as of right now, for this week, that's what the rule is.
Okay, so they are being implemented this week. The rule changes, correct?
Yes, but like I said, the six man could vary.
The six man one is an if.
It's up in the air. Six man's up in the air, but for sure the other rule it's being implemented this week.
And the other rule, there was the last one, I think, only 2 linemen on defense. Offense.
Since the quarterback can only run once, only one person can rush. The quarterback.
Yeah, which is fair. Explaining. And so after that, these are obviously going to be they're going to affect the league a lot. And that's a fact. But when it comes to terms of who it affects the least and who it affects the most, for least, I think it's going to affect the Trojans least. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Trojan myself, but our quarterback, he does run. He runs a lot. I'm not always able to hold off the lineman coming at him if I'm on O-line. And you can see that he'll scramble still, sure. But he's one of the best passers in the league. And I think I can get some agreement with that throughout the league, but he's one of the best passers. Absolutely. Not only is he scrambling well, but that Alex Kofor and the Dolphins, I think it will affect them most. Let me explain why. Alex Kofor is a great quarterback, running quarterback, that is. Alex Kofor puts up triple digit, like 230 yards a week in running. And he got like 7 or 8 touchdowns for running this week. That's big. It wouldn't be as big if we could. I don't know this much, but if Alex Kofor cannot throw, this will affect them the most. If Alex Kofor can throw well, it'll affect Knack Attack the most, because Nick McAdams is also scrambling QB. He can throw, but his people aren't always open, so he has to run most of the time. And when he can't, he really usually does not go down. He has 3 people on him. Back to week 1, he had 3 people on him, holding him, grabbing onto his legs, very bottom. He keeps going. He doesn't care, and it'll affect him the most if Alex Kofor can pass.
Also, the Hogs, they run the ball a lot. I remember when we talked about in the group chat, Noah mentioned the Hogs.
Yes, and I'm not going to say it, but there's a reason I didn't say the Hogs name, and you're going to see it this week in week 3.
Interesting. All right.
And I'm just going to move on really quick to the next topic. Unless, Jacob, do you have anything else to add on the rule changes?
No, I want to thank you for your thoughts on it. And I'd like to thank our show producer, the head of referee, and our great commissioner, who is based out of New Palestine, Indiana, for sharing those rules with us today.
That's no problem.
Just got to give him a shout out, Tim. I know your hair almost.
I know it just sounded like
I know your hair spiked up like the guy from MythBusters, but
it just sounded like you were ending the show. I was like super confused.
Oh no.
Right.
This is what's great about it. Remember, I bring the comedy part and you bring the debate part of it, but we work together to have a great show, and we have a great producer.
Yes, and so the next topic I want to discuss is the best wide receiver in the league. Now, obviously, I'm going to pick a Trojans player, considering we are 2-0. But wide receiver who can catch the best, who can get the most yards off every catch, probably Eric Stearns. Now, Eric Stearns has played primarily quarterback this entire season. That's changing. I will not say who. It could be Michael, could be Jake, could be Ethan, could be anyone.
Could be Noah.
Could be Noah. Probably won't be Noah, but it could. Now, if you're putting Eric in a wide receiver position, hypothetically, he's probably going to catch the ball most of the time. That's not what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at just skill, what he can do with the ball. He juked out on our entire team on a play last week. I'm not afraid to admit it. I don't have the footage, but it happened. And trust me, I was there. I got juked out. He can do that, but there's just wide receiver wise, I think the best runner in our league is Ben or James. Now, with James, he didn't do as well this week as he did week 1, running wise. He ran like 100 yards for a touchdown twice. And this week it's just been different. And I'm trying to look for the footage real quick. Wide receiver wise, it could be James, but I'm going to go with Eric, honestly. Now, let me just show you the play real quick of James catching. It's a bit sideways. I'm sorry for that. Oh, this is the scramble play. I apologize for that. This is the play.
By the way, I just want to say to whoever did the videos this week, great job.
So there's James' touchdown right there. All right, so there's that done. And looking at wide receivers, probably James or Eric. And between those two, I'm going to pick Eric. Just because Ethan is technically their wide receiver 1, or Michael is their wide receiver 1, but he put up a fight when he was getting tackled this week, but it wasn't. I mean, he still got down a lot. Ethan just isn't getting targeted as much, and I'd like to see that change. Okay. Jacob, do you have anything to add to that wide receiver debate?
That is a great question. I'm gonna say for now, no. However, though, I do wonder if, by chance, we really this week, since you guys are playing an Knack Attack, if it's a high-powered game, since you can't run the ball, I would like to really see how James is going to do at it, Brendan, and I'd also like to see Riley, and I'd also like to see how Riley's going to be doing it. I think Riley could really do good this week if he puts in the effort. All right.
Yeah.
But as far as right now, I think you touched on the same points as me.
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to a guy I think might be kind of going under the radar, Brendan Seago. I think he had a quietly amazing game against the Hogs. There were several times where, Ethan is a guy that people were picking as Defensive Player of the Year before the year started, and he was dusting him on a couple of plays. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what happened, and I think I just give some love to him. I think he's really performing really well at that wide receiver position.
I was just about to bring him up. In terms of going back to the very first episode we ever filmed of the show, I did say that I think either Michael Dwenger or Brendan Seago would be the receiving yards leader in this league. And
that's a very good possibility with Brendan or Michael.
Yeah, and I bring up James just because I feel like James had more memorable plays. Brendan absolutely did good, but I think James had more memorable plays. That's why I'm thinking of him right now. James is primarily a running back, but when it came to running against the Hogs, Ben did most of it. But I think Brendan definitely stands a chance for receiving yards leader, maybe even offensive player of the year. Who knows? But
for sure.
Next topic I want to go into is with Isaac's retirement from the league. Whether it be
he may not be fully retired. We don't know the full top. I'm not going to discuss on it too much because me and Eric have had very not much discussion with him at all. We may look at him coming back in the draft.
Hopefully.
Hopefully too. Potentially, we're hoping, but I don't. He may.
When would the draft be?
It would not be until June, probably.
Yeah,
but after the playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be after the full season and before the next season.
Yeah. All right, got it. But not for the rest of this year. So he won't be coming as a sixth player.
He's probably done for this season. That's pretty safe to say he's done.
So lineups are set for Knack Attack with Jagger and for the Dolphins as of now. Once Weaver comes back. All right, got it.
Full lineups.
Yeah. So, but as for this season, he's gone. For whatever reason that may be. But Ethan Fitzgerald is now the replacement. Let's talk about Ethan Fitzgerald for a bit. So, Ethan, I'm not going to lie to you. He doesn't know much about football, or really anything besides the basics. But as how Isaac was an offensive player and an offensive threat even for the Dolphins, Ethan Fitzgerald is on the other side of the spectrum. Not being an offensive, just get past him easy. No, he's a defensive threat. And even more than a threat, if there is such a thing. But let me explain. So Ethan's the kind of person where you wouldn't expect it. He's very physical. Very physical. He's tall and he's got a bit of a skinnier build. So you wouldn't expect it much. However, his tackling style is very unique as he's implementing judo. Is it judo or judo and MMA fighting styles into his tackling style. That's what he told me at halftime of his game. But I can't remember what exactly it is, so sorry. But he's gonna go out there and try to get that tackle. No matter what way he's gonna do it, it's gonna happen most likely. And I'm kind of scared to play him, honestly. I can't lie to you. Even though I'll be on the line against Aiden when I play the Dolphins, but Ethan is definitely going to be a defensive threat if they decide to play him on the line for a few plays. So I think affecting, like, how does it affect the Dolphins? Not bad, honestly. The Dolphins are pretty set offensively. If Alex Kofor does have the ability to pass, which is unknown to me, but if they don't, it may be bad. If Alex Kofor can just learn to pass, I think they'll be set because their defense is on lockdown with Aiden White and Ethan Fitzgerald. It's kind of scary. I can't lie to you. Jacob, since being a Dolphin, would you like to add anything to that statement?
First off, thank you for the kind thoughts. Second off, I was, of course, concerned. You know, I was like, Ethan, he's funny, great man at all. Me and Ethan have talked a lot over the years. We always talk in the hallways. But just after 5 minutes of that game, I'm pretty sure I heard him say, well, I can go harder, but I don't want to hurt these kids. So that just told me right there. And I was like, I thought you were playing at your best effort, man. Nope. So that just tells me when it comes against this weekend, Ethan could be defensive player of the week, as well as Aiden potentially. I'm not sure how many linebackers we're going to be, or how many people are going to be on the lines this weekend. If it's going to be one or two, I doubt that will even be decided until the day of the game, to be honest. But it's going to be a defensive game. I think we're going to see a lot of turnovers and we could even see a few punts for once.
Maybe.
But you really touched great on the topic of our team right there. But I'm looking forward to seeing how week 2 goes against a very competitive team.
Yeah. Honestly, I think there's only one more thing to add on to this, unless Noah wants us to discuss anything further, or if Jacob wants to add anything on. Most valuable pick for the 4th round, as we just discussed it every week. Me and Jacob both being 4th round picks in the most recent draft for the PFL. I do want to discuss. Jacob, I'm going to ask you first. Who do you think is the current front runner for most valuable pick? And to refresh your brain, Ryan Deep, Noah Dwanger, me, and you.
Yeah. So right now, I would honestly say Ryan did good, as well as you and Noah. Unfortunately, still be last. But there are some 3rd rounders who are not that good, who I could have swapped places with, or one of you guys. So I wouldn't say I'm dead last place, or anything like that. And I don't even look at who's the best. I'm looking at who gives the most freaking effort. All right. And that right now, I'm going to have to say is you, Kian. And here's why I say that. You can get mad and kick some butt, just like what happened. And I love Noah, but when I say always being willing to play or giving the best effort, you were down to play 2 games. I was down to play 2 games as well. But when you want to go lights out, you can do that. All right. And you can put into effort, even after you've just played a game. And that is why I still pick you, followed by Noah.
All right. So
I should mention Noah is great, but I also put into effort as well. And I've seen a lot of effort. I mean, Noah puts in great effort, but willing to play 2 games and not willing to play 2 games, I'm going to have to give the guy who's willing to play 2 games just because of his effort.
Now, I don't want to take that into factor for my take personally. I think that it was more of a team decision by the Hogs for Noah not to play 2 games. It was a smart decision.
For sure.
Because you want to conserve energy. And I think that's why I didn't play very well against Aiden White week 1 against the Dolphins. Now, when I'm refreshed and I've had an opportunity to talk to my team for a bit, and I just finished a fight which filled me with adrenaline, I'm going to go out there and do harder and just play harder than Noah and put more effort in. Noah is great. And I was telling you guys, episode 2 of the personality football, Jesus, I can't even remember the name of the show. Personality debate show. Sorry. Jeez. There goes my contract. No, I'm kidding. But like, it's just crazy because Jacob, have you ever gone up against Noah on the line?
I have not yet, but I don't know if I'm going to be lineman or not. A lot of decisions will be last minute. All
right. Well, let me tell you something real quick. Noah will always go out there and do his very best. Even if it doesn't look like it, he's always doing his very best.
And I agree with you on that. I should mention that's why I have you guys tied, basically.
Yeah, but it's crazy. And I'm going to talk about Ryan in a bit after this. But I mean, Noah, he just goes out there and does his very best every single play, every single snap, no matter what side of the ball he's on, and he's just gonna do it every single play. So, I mean, Ryan is also being he's been really underrated criminally, and it's crazy because he broke 4 to 5 tackles in one play for a touchdown. It wasn't on video, sadly, but he's still very good. But in terms of most valuable pick, I'm going to have to agree it's probably either me or Ryan. And I really want to see Ryan play more before I'm able to make that decision. But as of right now, just for that reason, I'm going to pick me. But you know what? That's not for me to talk about. And I'll just show this one clip very quickly.
And real quick,
Yeah.
I apologize, guys. I have a very important meeting that I gotta attend. Thank you so much to our producer and to our other host. I should mention I'm still the host of the show. Just today, I have to leave a little bit early.
Yeah.
Great having you guys on, and look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday.
Thanks for being here, Jacob.
All right. So I've had it. See you, Jacob. I've had it looping. I've had it looping for a bit. So me right here and Noah on the offensive side of the ball. That I talked to Eric about it. In his words, that impressed the shit out of me, and that just makes you feel good, honestly. Now I also outweigh Noah by probably 100+ pounds, but it's really good to have that feeling. And Noah, I really, really hope that you're still able to get that motivation for next week to play. Noah, what would you like to do?
If you're down, I mean, we can keep talking. I can ask you more questions.
I'm absolutely down. Go ahead if you have any more.
All right. I want to get your predictions. Well, actually, let me ask you this first. Do you think Nakatak could beat you if James doesn't play? Do you think
Yes.
you think they can?
Yes. Now I know there is internal conflict between the Nakatak team, but James is a crucial player, even if it doesn't seem like that. If we don't have James, Ben's backup plan was probably going to be to run the ball a lot. Can't do that. We're going to have to either rely on now. Brendan Seago is on level with James, and maybe even better. But I just don't think one receiver. If we don't have that man, that 6 man, we're going to be playing a 4v5, or because I mean we cannot get a substitute this early on, or this late of notice. But it's going to be a 4v5, and just that alone, that situation alone is going to be hard.
It would be. We would make sure it's even teams. We wouldn't do that to you guys.
All right. But it's like, I mean, even with just not having that communication, like I have communication with James every day. The entire team does, and that's just what it is. So if we don't have him, I don't know how it's going to be. Hopefully it'll be good, but there's a possibility, even though we are 2-0, I think still a possibility Nakatak can upset us if we do not have James. But with James, I don't know.
So also I wanted to get your predictions going into week 3. Who do you think's winning between the Dolphins and the Hogs?
Dolphins and Hogs. So during the Hogs game and the Trojans game last week, in my eyes, we were kind of getting their head a bit, and it didn't take much. But they got out of it pretty quickly. But I think if the Dolphins are able to get into the head of the opponent, I don't know. Now looking at the roster, Noah, do you know so Jacob Buehrer, Alex Kofer, Aiden White, Ben Hewlett, and
Ethan Fitzgerald.
Yep.
And then Mason would be there, but he's injured at the moment, so they'll just play 5.
Yes. So those are all names. When I think about it, they're definitely players that want to win, but they're not players that are going to go out of the way to get into the head of the opponent. Honestly, I think that's the only way you can beat the Hogs. I think the only way to beat, because just considering how close of a game it was for the Trojans, I think we're equivalent skill wise. I can say that with confidence. The Hogs and the Trojans are skilled equally. Because it did come down to a 1-call game either way. But honestly, I think Alex Kofer is probably the only person that'll get in the head, and Aiden White will definitely get in the head. Not like say anything, but he'll do his best, and by doing that, he'll frustrate the opponent. Aiden White's going up against Noah Dwenger.
I definitely think this is the defensive matchup. You got I think, in my opinion, it's the two best defensive teams in the league. You got the Hogs, who are really good defensively, good tacklers. And now with the addition of Ethan Fitzgerald, you have a very physical Dolphins team that can tackle. So I think that'll be.
And we got to see, considering you can't have two linemen anymore. So they're definitely going to be swapping Ethan and Aiden out a lot of plays. And we have not seen Aiden offensively besides like 3 snaps of Trojans Dolphins, or Trojans Dolphins week 1. But there's also 2 different types of defenses here. Think about that. So the Hogs their line defense is like O-line. I don't know, kind of shaky, but it's still pretty good. I'd say it's second or third in the league. But the Hogs excel in like pass defense with interceptions or people that can intercept. Ethan being a bit shorter, Ethan can still jump up, get that ball. Michael can still jump up and get that ball. Or not even jump, he'll just get that ball. And Eric will do the same. Jake, who knows? I haven't seen him much. But the Dolphins are more of a run defense. Not run defense, but on the line, offensive line. It's Aiden White is a very tough opponent. Very tough opponent. I don't know if that's just because I played 2 games the first week, but I know he actually played football, which is a big advantage he has on me. It'll be big to see both of what Aiden White can do offensively and what it'll end up being. Like I don't even know who's starting on the line, really.
Yeah, I think Aiden's one of the bigger mysteries right now in the league, just because like we really only saw him play in the snow. You know what I mean? In the one game.
Yeah.
The conditions were bad. It was just like I want to see him, in a normal conditions. You know what I mean? Matched up.
That's a scary thought.
Opponent to see. I think it'll be interesting to definitely see what he can bring to the table for that Dolphins.
Yeah. And before you go on real quick, I do want to add, considering the Hogs passing defense, think about this. They're the team with I think the best passing defense in the league. Alex Kofer, even if he can learn how to pass, it probably gets swatted down and picked off a few times, considering he can't run as much anymore. That's big. I think this will be an easy victory for the Hogs for that reason alone.
That's definitely a good point. And then I know you kind of talked about it earlier, but I wanted to get for sure answer on the Trojans and Knack Attack. Who do you think's winning that game?
It's really going to be conditional. James, I think percentage-wise, Trojans have a better chance of winning. I'm going to explain that real quick. If James is out, we still have a chance to win, but it is significantly lower. If James is in, we probably will win. So I'd say it's probably a 70-30, 70 being Trojans for both situations.
I haven't spoken to him much. I know you talk to him pretty much daily because you're teammates or whatever. But is there any news on whether or not he's going to be able to play or not? Is it still up in the air?
As of right now, should be. He should be there, but it just really comes down to the last second. And I'm going to be there a bit early too. So we should probably have a sub. We will, but we'll probably have enough time to discuss with the substitute player if James does not show up.
Which, if we do end up implementing the 6-man and James does not show up, he would just play as the substitute.
The 6-man would just play as a substitute. But I'm saying, in the worst case scenario situation, if James does not show up and the 6-man either doesn't make the roster or just can't play that day,
Yeah, for sure. We'll probably end up getting you guys a substitute anyway. I think maybe if he's down for it, Aiden White potentially, just because it's a first round talent kind of.
Yeah.
Because most fair we can make it, but that's the thought process right now. Honestly, it will probably come down to whatever happens on Sunday to make that decision. But for sure.
Go ahead.
I know we talked about it earlier, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit more just because I think it's going to affect the league a lot. I know you're talking about it, but the running rule. and just how much it's going to affect the league. I mean, literally, Eric's said this, so I'm not bashing him because he really said this himself. On that last drive against you guys, he would just wait for all the receivers to run 20 yards downfield and all the defenders follow, and then he just gets a free first down. And, he single-handedly, put them in the lead.
Yeah.
Just by doing that. And so that's definitely why the rule needed to be implemented. But I mean, just how much do you think it really is going to affect the league?
It's going to be a huge effect, but I think it's positive. Originally, I was crying about it, not literally crying, but you know what I mean, complaining about it. But then I realized how little it affected us and how good it'll be for the rest of the league, because even though there were some great plays with the running QB, it gets boring after a while. And this will put us in a good position, us being the entire league and all the teams. I think it'll put us in a really good position to just get more recognition, and because people are going to see, they're taking it seriously, And I do want to bring up you can cut this part out. Are we allowed to talk about the award ceremony yet?
Oh yeah, you can talk about that.
Okay, so there is going to be an award ceremony. I don't know what award's going to be given out besides MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, stuff like that. But I'm really excited for that, and that'll give the entire league something to look forward to. Because some players I know in the league have a lack of motivation to play for one reason or another. I think this will really give them an end goal. Even if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, even if they don't make it to the play. Well, did I really just say that? All teams are going to make it to the playoffs if they don't make it to the Super Bowl. But I mean, it's a really good thing I think we're doing, and it'll be really fun. But yeah, I remember there was one thing more I wanted to say, but can't remember now. So, and you have anything else?
I think that's good. You just want to wrap it up there?
Sure. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Jacob and Kian personality debate show. Got it right. And I want to thank Noah for hosting another great week. I apologize for my lack of enthusiasm and energy last week. Stuff was going on, but I'm all good now, and can't wait to record next week.
Yep.
See you guys
so
then.
We'll see you guys after week 3. Going into week 4. Hopefully it'll be a great show. Thanks again, Kian, for being here.
Absolutely.
It's a damn postal worker.